Thank you very much. Thank you both for being here. Secretary Mattis, greetings from your home state of Washington. Good to see you again. Secretary Mattis, let me start with a home state, Washington state question. Communities in our home state are no strangers, as you know, to long-term environmental cleanup efforts. Nuclear weapons production at Hanford, which helped our country win World War II, later the Cold War. But after years of cleanup, much work still remains to fulfill our government's legal and moral obligation to our Tri-Cities community. Today, communities in our state from Oak Arbor to Airway Heights are concerned that they too will be dealing with groundwater contamination associated with firefighting foam used at the military aviation facilities for years to come. Oak Harbor, Coopville, Airway Heights, and communities actually around the country are being directly affected by groundwater contamination today, and I'm worried about not getting enough resources to address this problem. So I wanted to ask you, while you're here today, can you work with me and our communities in Washington State to take the steps necessary to investigate and clean up this contamination?
Absolutely, Senator. Those are all names of towns I either grew up in or have a close affiliation with, so I understand the human dimension very well.
It is of deep concern to us, and if you could provide us quarterly updates to this committee regarding the department-wide response to groundwater contamination, I would really appreciate it.
Okay, we will do so, ma'am.
Thank you. Let me ask a broader question. I'll start with you, Secretary Mattis. As we begin to expand the end strength of the military services again, I want to take a minute to focus on the eligibility of the general population our services are drawing from. There have been several reports in recent years, including one released in May by the Council for a Strong America, that estimate that the percentage of 17 to 24-year-olds ineligible for military service to be as high as 70%. Military ineligibility, as you know, for this group collectively stems from obesity, drug abuse, academic ineligibility, criminal history, and these are not problems the defense budget, of course, is intended to or generally permitted to address. But let me ask you, talk to us a little bit about the value in making sure we are investing in domestic priorities like education and healthcare that help make sure that we have young men and women ready to serve in our military.
I think it's essential that for the military and for the health of the society just in general, we address these issues, Senator. In terms of the military, I wonder sometimes if it's not non-quantitative aspects we have to enhance, that there's other things we should be doing. I've gone back in history to find what they did about the inability to recruit people, young men, because their teeth had rotted out back before World War I. I mean, there's a whole raft of history lessons that we can look at here, but I agree with you, the society has got to breed enough young men and women who are fit enough in body, mind, and spirit, in physically and mentally agile and spiritually, I would call psychologically strong enough to take on the extraordinary efforts that we know that we're going to require of them if we send them into the battlefield.
General, can you comment?
Senator, I think what you're alluding to is a really important point, and that is the strength of the United States military is a direct reflection of the strength of U.S. society.
Okay, thank you very much. This is something that I think we need to continue to focus on to make sure that we have a strong military in the future. And as we see decreased budgets here and decreased investments, it's something I am deeply worried about, so I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.